everybody! Today I've decided to take on an impossible task. I've decided to try and sum up the entire timeline of music in America. Do I believe I can accomplish this? Yes. Do I think I will do any of these topics justice? No. Absolutely not. However, will this stop me? No. So, speed round. We start off with native music. Native music varies from tribe to tribe. However, a lot of the tribes use music for similar purposes: healing, prayers, celebrations, war, etc. While they were all different, it did give us a few basic musical ideas to start off with, such as percussion, vocalization, and storytelling. Okay, cool. What's next? Colonization? That's right. We move on to church music, or more specifically, church psalms or hymns. While these specific versions weren't mentioned a lot, I still believe it is necessary to discuss, as without the introduction of Christianity, our next topic would not exist. What's the topic? Spirituals, or more specifically, spiritual slave songs. These songs, after African Americans adapted Old Testament stories, helped create the backbone of what we know it today as church songs. They popularized a few more musical ideas, such as syncopation, a cappella, and call and response. Next topic is, war, another war. Marching bands. Marching bands started becoming more popular as wars or battles ran rampant through young America. We bring back ideas such as war beats, which were used by natives. Starting off with only a drum and a bugle, the bands we know today have grown a lot. Much of what we owe to Jean Philip Sousa, who standardized American march music. The symphony orchestra takes the stage. Popularization of classical music finally hit America in the 1840s. With this, we see American classical music, which was influenced by the broader Romantic period, which emphasized emotion, individualism, and a connection to nature. During this time, the polka, a bohemian dance, gained popularity, sweeping through Europe and the American continents with a fervor that created a phenomenon known as polka mania. What's another thing that followed closely in classical footsteps? The blues. The blues were originally named after their melancholic sound and subjects. However, blues is now more than just that. Blues now encompass anything that follows the main blues structure of a specific chord progression, a walking bass, a call and response, dissonant harmonies, syncopation, melisma, and flattened blues notes. A sound that quickly followed this was jazz, keeping similar stylization with syncopation and improvisation. Jazz began in New Orleans, with black musicians being yet again the creator of such a powerful sound. While I did put jazz after blues, I only did this as jazz was popularized after the fact. Jazz is actually about 12 years older than blues. However, it was only through musicians such as Jelly Roll Morton and Louis Armstrong in the 1920s that jazz truly became popular. Now, this next genre is one that I really wasn't sure how to incorporate, or I guess when, as it never really became popular until the 1940s. Country music can actually be traced to the 17th century, when European and African immigrants migrated to North America, and with them brought their folk tales, folk songs, and favorite instruments, and their musical traditions. While it stuck around and still has some prevalence, it wasn't until World War II that the genre skyrocketed to popularity within America, with artists such as Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton, and Willie Nelson. Speaking of skyrocketing, our next topic is one dear to my heart: rock and roll. With blues, jazz, and country taking a climb with mostly black artists, it only seems natural for white pop artists to begin covering songs from these emerging genres, turning them into hits on the pop chart. Eventually, the original versions of many of these hits also began to cross over from the R&B chart to the pop charts, exposing African American artists to a wider audience. Yippee! Anyway, rock and roll evolves from R&B with influences from electric blues, gospel, and country music. This evolves greatly over time until 1955, which brings rock and roll's first #1 hit, as Bill Haley and his Comets topped the pop charts with the single Rock Around the Clock. And I realize I just spent more than 2 sentences on one genre, and I must move on to our next topic: soul. While I don't know much on soul music, other than it's not too different than what I've already mentioned, Soul music sprang from the blues clubs, churches, and street corners of the USA. It was a collision of genres that mixed testifying with showmanship and has been constantly evolving since the 1950s. Wow, blues seems to really be bump, 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 staying alive. Am I right? That's right, disco's next. The movie Saturday Night Fever is speculated to be what popularized disco music, which set off an explosion of the disco movement. Disco went on to play a major part of the late 70s and created a new genre of music never seen before, which seems to be a common theme in these last few genres, as hip-hop was also groundbreaking in the music industry. It spread across the USA like wildfire, with every major city developing its own unique brand of this powerful and exciting new genre. Now, this next genre is really similar to country in the fact that it's been around for a while, but it was only popularized later in the US after MTV grew as a global brand: pop music. It was heavily influenced by Michael Jackson after his release of his album Thriller. Michael Jackson helped to popularize pop music and change the genre. Okay, one more. Wow, what a ride. So many wonderful sounds and genres. It makes you wonder what all of this has led to, huh? I mean, I'm not surprised, just slightly disappointed. But that's right. All that blues has led to this: EDM, or electrical dance music. It took the lead in popularity in the 1990s and 2000s, and has grown into one of the most popular genres among young Americans today, with its prominent DJs becoming international megastars. The sound we know it today began to have an impact in 1992 with the opening of NASA, not NASA, Nocturnal Audio Sensory Awakening, in New York City. Its influence sent shockwaves across the USA, giving birth to countless subgenres today, embraced by thrill-seeking millennials. That's it for me, folks. Thank you for joining me today in this journey through the years of American music. I hope it met expectations. I did try and keep it within a timeline and include as many genres as I could, but I definitely missed some. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.